from Link Space.
My name is Kelsey Ganake.
And I'm Steven Schultz.
And this is our movie presentation. And we as coaches believe that the movie Sandlot is a perfect example of leadership and goal-setting skills. By having our baseball team and others watch this movie, it will better their knowledge of what it takes to be a leader and how to apply goal-setting skills in both the game of baseball and also in life.
The film is directed by David M. Evans. It was also written by David and Robert Fonte. The film was released in 1993 and it took place the summer of 1962. Scotty was the new kid on the block, where he met Benny the Jet. He was the oldest. Ham, Hamilton, Michael, they called him Squints, Kenny, and Alan. Benny one day convinced Scotty to steal the baseball from Scotty's stepfather's treasure room, and it was signed by Babe Ruth. The boys went on tons of adventures throughout their time and got in tons of trouble. And one day, they used the ball that Scotty stole, and that one hit that Scotty had, it landed over on the fence, on the other side of the fence of the beast. The boys told stories about the beast where nobody went over the fence to go get anything. One day, Benny had a dream that Babe Ruth himself came into his room and convinced him to jump over the fence and get the ball for the boys. So Benny came back the next day and talked to the boys and said, "We have to go get that ball." So one day Benny put on his PF flyers and jumped over the fence. And it was a wild chase throughout the neighborhood to get that ball. The beast chased Benny all around the neighborhood. And once they got back to the beast's yard, a fence fell on the beast. And Mr. Melton, the man who was the owner of the beast, came out of the house. And he actually saved Benny. In the end, Benny got the ball and he built a bond with the beast and its owner, Mr. Melton. And Mr. Melton was actually a good friend of Babe Ruth throughout that time when he played in the Negro League.
Alright, in the movie Sandlot, there are many examples of psychological skills being used, but the two that we're going to look at are leadership skills and goal-setting skills. So first up, leadership skills. The definition of leadership is a process whereby an individual influences a group of individuals to achieve a common goal. Characteristics of leadership, there's a lot of them, such as confidence, loyalty, self-discipline, resourcefulness, and like I said, there's many more. Some responsibilities of a leader on a team would be establish interpersonal relationships, provide motivation, provide group and individual feedback when needed, and they have great influence on group decision making. So when we look in the movie The Sandlot, Benny is a good example of a leader. He's what you call an emergent leader, which is someone who has certain leadership skills, high ability, experience, that earns the team's respect and support. And there are a few good examples of Benny's leadership throughout the movie, such as when Scotty Smalls first tried playing with the team, he kind of embarrassed himself. He didn't know how to throw or catch, so Benny stepped up and took him under his wing and taught him how to throw and catch so he could be part of the team. Another good example of Benny's leadership would be in the end of the movie when he self-sacrificed himself for the betterment of the team and went and got the ball himself from the beast. And that showed hard work and good effort, which is a good example of what a leader should do. And then we're going to look at how goal setting was used in The Sandlot. And by definition, a goal is attaining a specific standard of proficiency on a task, usually in a specific time. And in class, we learned how to use goal setting using a SMART goals format. A SMART goals format is an acronym for how goals should be set. The S would stand for specific, M would be measurable, A is action oriented, R is realistic, T is for time specific, and S is for self-determined. So again, there's a lot of good examples in the movie of goal setting, but I have two that I'd like to talk about. The first one would be when Scotty Smalls first joined the neighborhood. He wanted to make friends, and in order to do that, he had to learn how to play baseball and fit in. So slowly but surely, he first had to learn how to throw and catch, and then after that, after being on the team, they got good enough to beat their rival team from across the neighborhood. And after that, in the end, he got so good that he hit his first home run, which was the Babe Ruth ball over the fence. And another good example of goal setting in the Sandlot would be when he actually hit the ball over the fence, and they made it a goal for them to get the ball back. It's also a good example of how they use the SMART goal format to get the ball back. More specifically, they needed to get the ball back before Scotty Smalls' stepdad got back from his business trip, which was in a week. So that was a specific, measurable, action-oriented, realistic, and timely goal. And those are just two psychological skills that we could use in the movie.
So the team that we're coaching is a 14 and under boys summer traveling baseball team. And in order to apply these skills, or for these players to apply these skills, the leadership and the goal setting skills, we made up a team bonding / activity that we want to do with the team during the preseason. That way the players are not distracted during competition season. And there are 16 players on the team. So our plan is to, again, apply these skills and actually teach these players how to apply these skills not only into the game of baseball, but also into life. So even before we have the players actually watch the movie, we want to take time out of practice and actually discuss what a goal is, how to make a good goal, and also mentioning what a leader is, characteristics of how to be a good leader. And then we would have the players go home and watch the movie, and we would have them think about a couple questions or a couple ideas while they're watching the movie. So, for example, we would have them think about what leadership skills were presented in the film, and also what characters actually use those leadership skills. And also think about what goal settings were used during the film. So for example, for the leadership skills, they would mention about Benny being a leader of their little baseball team or gang, as they like to mention it. Or for the goal setting skills, their goal to actually retrieve the ball from the beast, and them using different tasks to actually retrieve the ball. So then after watching the movie, we would then come back to the following up practice, and that's where we would come in as a team and we would discuss what they've learned and what the movie was about and how the skills were implied. And then we would go into the activity / the goal setting lesson. And the activity that we made and performed is the shuttle drill. And this is kind of the format of what the shuttle drill actually looks like, but with the objective, the players have to get as many catches as they can in a limited amount of time, which we would be giving them 5 minutes. And their distance, the distance they would have to throw is, considering they're like 14 and under, and they're really good at throwing, and they could probably throw a good distance. We would say between the distance of first and second base, also giving them a little challenge and challenging them a little bit. So what we would do is we would split up the team into 4 groups of 4. We would then have those individual groups come together and discuss the amount of catches they want to get during that 5-minute goal. So, for example, one team might have a goal to get 100 catches in that 5 minutes, and they would also think of ideas of how to achieve that goal. So whether that is sprinting really hard to the other side of the line, or using leadership skills by motivating them using, let's go, we got this, keep going, be consistent. So, and this shuttle drill also helps with helping their consistency of throwing and catching the baseball. So going into the actual part of the shuttle drill, what we would have the drill set up as is these circles are showing what as players, and we would have the players line up, split and line up, and they would face each other. And this little circle is the baseball. So the player that starts out with the baseball would, as time starts, the player with the baseball would throw the baseball to the other side, and that player would catch the ball, and that would count as 1 catch. And after that first player throws the ball, he would then run to the other side at the end of the other line. And then the player who caught that ball will then throw the ball back to the opposite side and then run to that opposite side. So pretty much following where they throw the ball. Then after that 5 minutes, we would then have the groups come together and discuss if they achieved their goal, or if they didn't, what they needed to improve on for the next time. And we as coaches would go around and ask those questions and discuss and give them further advice on what to think about for actually achieving their goal. So then we would actually run the drill again to see if, like in the movie, they had different tactics to actually retrieving the ball. So we would do the same exact thing in this drill and have them do it again to see different possibilities and tasks to actually achieve their goal of the amount of catches they wanted to get in the limited amount of time. So then we would run the drill for another 5 minutes. After that, the second time of the 5 minutes, we would then come again as a team, and we would discuss what they learned and how this related to the movie, and what skills they've used during this drill, what they can use during the actual baseball season. And we wanted to make sure as coaches that we applied this by using this activity in the shuttle drill, we wanted to apply this into the baseball season. So we would, as coaches, we would meet with the players one-on-one interviews or meetings with them and discuss goals they want to achieve at the end of the baseball season, or even during the baseball season. And again, during the season, we would check up and have follow-up meetings to make sure that they are achieving their goal and they're at a good pace.
So that was our movie presentation on The Sandlot. Hope you enjoyed it and were able to learn a few things. Thank you.